Commonly criticised for being little more than an inflated two-part TV episode, Star Trek Insurrection failed to excite critics or make a dent at the box office. Given this, fans could be forgiven for hoping for the best when it was announced that Oscar-nominated editor-turned-director Stuart Baird was going to helm the next film from a script by one of the Oscar-nominated writers of Ridley Scott's Gladiator, John Logan. Sadly for audiences in the franchise, the result was Star Trek Nemesis. A bit of a dud with uninspired direction and a script barely better than fanfiction. The film was met with a series low at the box office and a collective shrug from most critics. As a result, Star Trek, once a crown jewel of Paramount, would disappear from movie theatres for 7 years. But just what was wrong with the script? Beyond its poor characterisation, unfocused plot, ham-fisted twins theme and wall-to-wall illogic? You guessed it. Or in fairness, the title of this video gave it away. It is one of the dumbest Star Trek movies ever. How dumb? Shall we count the ways? I'm Sean Ferrick for TrekCulture, and here are the 10 dumbest things in Star Trek Nemesis. Number 10. Sensitive data. Data's brother, B4, claims to have no memories of his life before he was on the planet where the Enterprise found him. To help B4 realise his potential, Data chooses to copy his memory engrams into him. He does this with Picard's blessing, even as LaForge warns that B4 would have all of Data's memories as well, adding, "Maybe he's not supposed to be like you, Data. Maybe he's supposed to be exactly the way he is." Data's rationalization, that might be so, but I believe he should have the opportunity to explore his potential, is troubling. While that unilateral decision is questionable enough, what's dumb is that both Data and Picard are okay with this memory copy at all. Data's memories include personal interactions and information about his friends and colleagues that they might not consent to share, and decades of memories about his Starfleet service, including metric tons of sensitive data about Starfleet, starships, and missions covert and otherwise. How's that a good idea? And how could anyone think it was appropriate? And sure enough, B4 accesses the ship's computers to try and get information to assist in Shinzon's evil plans. Could he have done this had not Picard approved this literal data dump? LaForge says, "I still can't believe the captain went along with a memory download." Neither can we, Geordie. Neither can we. Number 9. Violations. Related to Shinzon's dawdling rather than play coy to make sure Picard doesn't smell a womp rat, wrong franchise, and raise shields or warp away, he mentally assaults Troy. Okay, sure, he's damaged goods in every way imaginable, but how does he think this is a good idea? Shinzon's simultaneously trying to woo Picard and mentally violating one of his key aides. Does he think Picard's not going to find out about this? He's smart enough to stage this whole elaborate coup, and yet stupid enough to risk it all because he finally sees a woman without pointed ears and a bowl cut. And assuming he's really that stupid, what about his Riemann Viceroy, the one who enables the attack? Where's the, "Yo, Praetor, this is a really bad idea. It's gonna show our hand and risk everything. Show some impulse control for a few minutes, at least till, we've grabbed Picard and done the Nosferatu thing and bled him dry." And it could have been worse. As script, the violation happened just before Picard's dinner with Shinzon, and was followed by a second attack, filmed but deleted, right after the dinner. Number 8. Scorpion silliness. When Picard and Data steal one of the Scorpion-class attack flyers from the Scimitar hangar, just how does Picard think that the route through the ship will take them to the one room with the big window perfect for escaping? Data's been snooping around the Scimitar playing B4, so sure, maybe he's learned the layout. But there's nothing in the film to suggest he's backseat driving. When the Enterprise rams into the Scimitar later, it's obvious the hangar is lower on the ship than the window through which the Scorpion escaped. Did it fly up some grand staircase we missed, or did it just take some giant turbolift? Finally, about the Scorpion flyers, they're yet another example of Trek movies introducing something for expediency, but which factors into the story not one whit. You know what would have been a surprise? Introducing these earlier in the story, maybe escorting the Enterprise into orbit, so when Picard and Data find themselves desperate for a way off the ship, have them surprise us by absconding with one and flying through the ship to a place they can get out. Or, hey, have Data use it later to get back onto the Scimitar. Set up and pay off as something the TNG movies didn't excel at. Number 7. Targeted transporters. So, just how is it that the Remans were able to lock onto and beam Picard over to their ship? It's not like he's on the bridge and yapping with them on the view screen or wearing a homing beacon. He's talking to Troy in sickbay when abducted, and there's no indication the Viceroy is intruding into her mind to get a bearing. Is it just that easy to pinpoint a specific human on the Enterprise? Does the Scimitar possess sensors that can differentiate individuals on another ship based on DNA or something? If so, how does the Enterprise crew not detect such invasion snooping? And how does this single-use transporter used to save Picard's bacon at the climax know to deposit Picard on the Enterprise bridge in a spot clear of any obstructions or passing crew? These movies are full of this stuff, where events happen because they're convenient and capabilities are established in one scene and immediately forgotten in another. Dum-da-dum-dum-dum. Number 6. The Earth-centric universe. Shinzon's very existence, his ticking down life clock, he might as well have had a red crystal in his palm a la Logan's Run, and all the pain and suffering he's endured was the doing of the Romulans. So once he stages his coup, seizes power, and commands the baddest battle wagon around with its planet-killing Medusa radiation, what does he reveal his master plan to be? Attack Earth. Kill every living thing on it. Why is it always Earth? The Star Trek movies became obsessed with it. Earth is directly endangered in the motion picture The Voyage Home, First Contact, and Star Trek 2009. Sure, V'ger originated from Earth. The Whale probe is looking for some missing humpbacks, and the Borg are attempting a redo of their first attempt on Earth. But Shinzon? What's his motivation? The Romulans wrecked his life and practically ensured his death. But hey, who needs revenge on them when he can kill the planetary home of his unwitting DNA donor? Yes, he's this dumb movie's dumb villain with dumb motivations. Number 5. Once more into the Briar Patch. Okay, sure, admittedly the Briar Patch per se was in the previous movie. But here we have yet another mandatory space anomaly, a nebula by any other name, smells just cliche. This one's a glowing green cloud thingus called the Basin Rift, through which all long-range comms don't work, but short-range comms are fine, so all the local ships can yap with one another. And get this, the Enterprise, with the crew's knowledge that Shinzon's undetectable ship is likely right on their arse, flies directly into the damned thing. Did no one look for hazards en route? Even Data doesn't think to caution against this, only realizing the danger at the moment they first have a comm flicker. Why would the Starfleet ships assemble to support the Enterprise on the far side of this thing, and just sit there as shown on the chart? Why wouldn't they aim for a position where they could see beyond it, and have the Enterprise bear towards the same spot, so there'd be no chance of comm signal disruption? And why is it only when they enter the damned thing does this vulnerability conveniently come up? Number 4. Crash Test Dummy Shinzon. Picard's decision to ram the Enterprise into the Scimitar only works because this is modern Star Trek, where ships always sit nose to nose despite transporters having ranges of tens of thousands of kilometers. Upon seeing what Picard is doing, why does the ever-dawdling Shinzon order, and much too late, "Hard to port"? Only long after the crash does he have the presence of mind to order "Divert all power to engines, full reverse." If he'd had the presence of mind to order full reverse the moment the Enterprise started its very slow ramming maneuver, it'd at least have diminished the impact force, and maybe provided an opportunity for some evasive action. Or, hey, what about launching all those damn Scorpion flyers and letting them fly and damage the Enterprise's impulse engines? Oh wait, they only exist so Picard can steal one. Number 3. The nuke on the bridge. So, let's see, this ginormous scimitar badass ship is possessed of all sorts of overly complicated rotating and unfurling emitters and layered bat wings for releasing this deadly Thaleron radiation. But the Tootsie Roll center of this space plutonium Tootsie Pop is in a compartment just off the bridge. Just a note for myself, clearly that was an odd thing for me to say, not having come from America. Tootsie Pop, I'm assuming is some sort of American thing. Not only is a critical doohickey of this turns everyone into pumice Medusa radiation within spitting distance of everyone in the main control room, but the most important dudes on the ship, like, I don't know, Praetor Shinzon, what possible sense does this make? Why is it anywhere near there instead of buried at the core of the ship surrounded by shielding? Looking at the device, is there even a force field? As far as we can see, it's unshielded by transparent aluminum, a see-through shower curtain, or even a peekaboo 90. Shinzon's knife gets destroyed in it, but was that a shield or the energy itself? An early draft of the script featured a different yet equally dumb premise, that multiple warp cores passed through the bridge. That's as logical as a nuclear reactor just off the bridge of a modern supercarrier. Number 2. Action Picard. After Picard is captured, he and Data fight to escape the scimitar, with Picard doing most of the shooting. Again, at the climax, the script contrives to make Jean-Luc beam to the scimitar, alone, an Exercitus Unius, a one-man army. Surprise, or rather, no surprise. You didn't really think that the dune buggy scene fulfilled the action Picard quotient for this film, did you? Of course not. Since Sir Patrick Stewart's name is at the top of the cast list, Jean-Luc has to go in all guns blazing. It's preposterous. A point is made that Remans have the reputation for being formidable warriors, used as assault troops in the most violent encounters. With that established, you'd expect them to be tough opponents, but Action Picard just mows them down on their own home turf. Furthermore, by the end, Picard is acting as irresponsibly as Shinzon. He lets it get personal when the lives of his entire crew are on the line, refusing to let Data go in his place. Data, who's stronger, indefatigable, and knows the layout of the enemy ship, is more likely to succeed than anyone else. Action Picard is dumb. He should be drummed out of the service, or at least the dismal box office ensured he'd not appear in another movie. Number 1. Dumbway Trip. When Data first rescues Picard to prevent him from being bled out by Shinzon's minions, he produces a heretofore unseen rabbit out of his hat, an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny prototype emergency transport unit capable of beaming one person. It's not used then, but at the end of the film, he slaps this onto Picard and sends him back to the Enterprise, where he gets himself blown up real good. Why does the Enterprise have such a prototype, and why is it just one? Is Geordi just so good that he invented something so useful, yet Starfleet's R&D never came up with such a thing? It's just another tech thing invented to conveniently allow a specific story beat. The book The Physics of Star Trek posited that the energy necessary to convert a light adult human being into energy would be the equivalent to 100 1-megaton hydrogen bombs. Sure, we see phasers do this, but those weapons only have to do the disassembly, not project that energy stream to another place along with all the information for reassembling it, and, actually reassemble it. When Picard arrives on the Enterprise bridge, the gizmo is still stuck to his shirt, which means it beamed itself. How? Does it turn itself into energy, and while in an energy state still functions to put both itself and Picard back together? It sure wasn't the Enterprise transporters doing the reassembly, as Geordi said they went down the moment after he beamed Picard to the scimitar. The transporter has always been magic, but this is beyond the pale, even for it. Thank you very much, folks, for watching along. We hope you enjoyed that. Did we miss any silly, dumb things in Star Trek Nemesis? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you very much to the wonderful Pedro for editing this video. You are awesome. Please make sure that you're following the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Please make sure you're liking and sharing as well. Follow us on the socials. We are at TrekCulture. I'm at Sean Ferrick, and you are awesome. Until I see you again, live long and prosper. Thanks very much.